Got Angel versus Iwendale. Norska versus Slanesh. Alright. Mammoth. Slanesh famously does not really like killing big single entities, but Mammoth has no healing, not a lot of armor, and is a tall target for those skirmish cav. For Norska, we have 4 Marauder Horsemen, a front line of Berserkers, including the Brutes of the Hound. We have a Metal Cast with just Searing Doom, a War Mammoth, Wolfric the Wanderer with Fight or Die, Hunter of Champions, and Seafang, and then we have some Skin Wolves and Beasts of Tashnar. For Slanesh, 4 Skirmish Cav of their own, 2 Fiends of Slanesh, 4 Hellstriders with the Hell Scourges, and then a minimalist front line of Devoted Marauders with a Herald of Slanesh on the front line, Acquiescence, and Rampage as the spells. Oh, we do have some Demonettes. Just 1? 2. 2 Demonettes. Alright. To start off, we have a Shaman, Sorcerer of Metal, getting rampaged out. Looks like Angel's going to move forward their front line at the same time to try and provide as much cover as possible. 5 seconds left on the Rampage as the Shaman Sorcerer gets charged by the Herald of Slanesh, who somehow manages to miss a 30 melee defense Shaman. She misses him twice with 60 melee attack. Now in come the Fiends, but Marauder Berserker should be moving up to help out. There is a really nice Searing Doom onto 2 Skirmish Cav. Great value there. In the distance, Hellstriders are getting kited out by Marauder Horsemen. Skin Wolves are going to have to move up soon and help out a little bit, but here comes the Mammoth. Hunter of Champions is down onto the Herald of Slanesh, who immediately pops Locust of Grace and runs away. So the Fiends are trying to just tank it out, because the Birth of the Hound are trying to fight them, but Fiends with the Locust of Grace should have a really solid amount of physical resistance. Yeah, 42% resistance to attacks is kind of nuts. There's also Chaos Fury Summon in here as well. Fiend's going to back out, just leave the Chaos Fury Summon to hold back the Berserker Tide for now as these guys run away. So some early tit for tat. There goes the Chaos Fury Summon. Berserker's just killing it before its spawn time was even up. And both sides of Marauder Horsemen getting some decent damage out onto the others, but I think as long as Norska's trading even, they're going to be happy with that, so that the Mammoth doesn't take all the damage. But it looks like a Seafang was here, if I'm looking at the Demonette's health, right? A follow-up Searing Doom going to almost take them down. Another Rampage on the Shaman Sorcerer of Metal, just trying to drag him out of position. Fiends running in for him. This time they should get a lot more damage out than the Herald of Slanesh did. So they might do okay, but the Mammoth's not going to bail him out this time, just going to run away. Demonette's getting awfully close to him out of his field crumbling. But in comes a big attack from the Fiends and the Hellstriders onto the Skin Wolves, lashing their backs, causing further scarring on those poor wolfy monsters. Aren't Skin Wolves, like, beset upon? Didn't they not ask for this life? It was just cursed upon them by, like, Ulrich. I don't know. Another Searing Doom on the Demonettes, but they're going to dodge it. Meanwhile, the Beasts of Tashnar were taken up by the Hellstriders of Slanesh, who are now going to run away from Skin Wolves. Don't really want to stay here and fight too much longer, as we do have some Skirmish Cav Slanesh offering to help out a little bit here and there. Other Skirmish Cav Norska getting peeled away, and Berserkers should be able to finish the Demonettes, while other Berserkers and a Mammoth finish the Devoted Marauders. Wolfric does get isolated. Looks like he wanted a duel with the Herald of Slanesh, but he's not getting a duel. He is getting surrounded by Fiends instead. Fiends, I say. Skirmish Cav Norska is holding on for now, though it is getting chased by their Slanesh counterparts. Slanesh just forcing them into a melee fight, though honestly, now they'll win it if it's going to be a 1v1 at that big of an HP disparity. This other guy was abandoning it. Looks like he has better things to do. The Hunter has become the hunted, as the Herald of Slanesh is now surrounded by Skin Wolves, and there is a War Mammoth nearby. Wolfric pops Fight or Die to make sure everybody stays in the fight. Berserker's getting picked off here. Soon to die, as the Brutes of the Hound and other Berserkers are also coming over to help out just a teensy little bit. The Skin Wolves that were trying to snipe out the Herald of Slanesh end up just running for the hills, and the Beasts of Tashnar loop in to help the Marauder Horsemen get a good fight off, but they're going to get recharged by Marauder Horsemen of Slanesh of their own. Thankfully, the Beasts of Tashnar won that other fight already, so they don't take that much damage from being a static target, and then they turn onto the Marauder Horsemen of Slanesh, trying to take them out. And again, this Mammoth could be hard to kill in the late game if we don't have Skirmish Cav to do so. Shaman Sorcerer Metal getting routed off. Herald of Slanesh safe and sound. Beast of Tashnar did rout, but they got good damage on the Marauder Horsemen of Slaanesh before they left the party. And now leaving these Marauder Horsemen to deal with it. Who are solid. Fiends should easily decide this fight on the side of Slaanesh, however. So that Marauder Horseman will not last too much longer. As Wulfric charges down these other Fiends. He's getting good shots in here and there. There's only 2 Fiends on the map, right? Yeah, so this one's super low. 5 speed faster than Wulfric. Wulfric has charging bonus as he runs them down. Then he decides he doesn't want anything to do with this and runs away. Another Rampage onto our friend, the Shaman Sorcerer of Metal, who should die this time. Fighting the Herald of Slaanesh out in the middle of nowhere. The Rampage kills him off. There's no more Searing Dooms for you, Norska. Slaanesh rallying some disparate forces as Norska continues to kite out to the best of their abilities. A Narcissism Tier 2 army ability nets the Marauder Horsemen in place, allowing the Hellstarters to finally catch up to them and rout them off au naturel. That leaves Norska with 1 mobility piece. Meanwhile, the Berserkers and Wulfric are rallying together to make a central defensible position. Fiends of Slaanesh hunting down the Marauder Horsemen, leaving the Berserkers for last. As there's nothing the poor Horsemen of the Steppe can do as the Fiends come hunting them down. ×2 speed as these guys chase off Marauder Horsemen for army passive, and the other Slaaneshi units are just sitting around, regaining vigor while they reform lines. The Norskins, to their credit, doing similar. Seafang goes through some of the skirmish cav. Is the skirmish cav going to run away? Just trying to poke the Mammoth here and there. The Mammoth is in. Charges through Devoted Marauders. Routs off the skirmish cav. Wulfric's going to hang out next to it, daring that Herald to do much about it. Skirmish cav don't have a ton of ammunition. 3 volleys, 4 volleys over there. In comes a Rampage onto the Brutes of the Hound. I think more of just to deal damage to them than really drag them out of position, because there's not too much of a position left for them. As these other Berserkers sit here and deal this damage. Thought I saw... Oh, it's a Narcissism. I thought it was a tier 3 army ability onto the Brutes of the Hound just for damage. Anyway, the Hellstriders are pushed out, but the Fiends are back in. Again, getting good damage out. And trying to cycle charge. War Mammoth running around. Being a nuisance. But Slaanesh getting good damage onto our little Norscan barbarian friends. Marauders trying to find a fight, though they are quite outmaneuvered as far as speed goes. Mammoth's hanging out, just trying to vibe. Another Purveying onto the Brutes of the Hound. Again, I think just honestly for damage. As the kiting continues. Only 1 volley left on anything, and then Slaanesh is going to have to dedicate themselves to melee. So let's see how the last volley goes. As Hazel shakes her super loud collar. Berserkers get charged in the face, gonna get routed off. These other Berserkers also get charged, as do these ones on the rear. Everybody's just ignoring the Brutes of the Hound, who are unbreakable. Looks like they're going for anybody they can break, and then maybe run them down for more army passive once again. So they're just trying to use their mobility to their advantage. Huh, those Slaaneshi cultists are running into the High Elf City. I'm not going to read into that too much. More cav charging, more Marauder Berserkers, fight or die. Only thing keeping them in the fight for now is the other ones hold out next to the Warshrine Mammoth. The Warshrine Mammoth also provides a buff, right? I thought it did of some kind. Looks like it does not, so okay. Whatever. Oh, it's not a Warshrine Mammoth, it's just a regular War Mammoth. Purveying of Slaanesh again onto the Brutes of the Hound, just trying to get rid of these unbreakable guys as quickly as you can without taking too many fights with them. But the Herald of Slaanesh gets stuck fighting Wulfric. Locus of Grace trying to help it out while also Hellstriders recharging against Wolfric, but there's Hunter of Champions down to 39 defense. Wolfric's gonna try and take her down as all these spooky, scary, spiny little doot monsters take down Wolfric, but he'll be fine. Get some shots onto the Herald of Slaanesh. Fiends in here, still just running amok and doing lots of damage as the War Mammoth is at 1600 value and climbing. Wolfric surrounded by a bunch of tentacled monsters and crab claws snipping away at him. His back is against a high elf grail thing. He just gets pushed off. He is going to die for sure. And then with him, the Berserkers should all be running. I mean, there's no way they hold if he dies. Their leadership's already so low that if he dies, they'll just run away. Mammoth stomps on some Fiends, but Wolfric is dead, and the Fiends recommit to the fight. Acquiescence making the Mammoth nice and low. 10 melee defense for it. Somehow, these Marauder Berserkers are holding, but one finally breaks. The Mammoth's swinging back at the Herald of Slaanesh, who's okay for now. 55 melee defense, keeping her safe against the 33 melee attack of this big boy, who's currently soporific musked down. Lowering his already not great melee stats, honestly. But the Berserkers hanging in there, getting some good chops every so often. The Mammoth also not running for now. Big HP pool. Big spooky boy that Slaanesh does not enjoy dealing with. And the Mammoth all of a sudden dips in leadership by quite a lot. If he routes, it is over, but the Brutes of the Hound are going to hold on and try and give him a little bit of support. -4 leadership. The War Mammoth's going to break. -7, -1. How has he held? How did he hold through so many ticks of negative leadership? He somehow managed to hang on. The Herald of Slaanesh is still trying to hit him in the back, but the Fiends are on the front. They're going to demonic instability crumble, and I have no idea. I mean, I do know. People are going to be like, it's an average. Like, if the ticks don't actually show every single thing, like it's constantly changing, like faster than your eye can register. Yeah, I know that, but it still looked funny that it was like -4, -4, -7, -7, -5, and he's fine. Herald of Slaanesh still trying to fight against this guy, but she's getting stomped on, she's taking tusks to the face. All of a sudden, Norsk is up on the balance of power, and the Mammoth is too strong. The Mammoth is overpowered. Clubs her again for the road, and 2,700 value on that big boy as he takes the victory against Les Slaanesh. 2,700 value for that. Wolfric also got 1,900 value. Skirmish Cav overall did well. Skinwolves got bodied, though. Iwindel separated those and killed them effectively. The infantry of Slaanesh not getting too much done. They did okay, but it's not really the game for that. Fiends and Hellstriders did fine. Caster Lord did fine. Skirmish Cav did pretty well. GG's, lads. GG's. Mammoth. OP. Roar. Subscribe. Yes, yes.